All right, cool. What hero did you play this game?
I was Lina. I was the mid on the Radiant.
Lina mid. Okay, awesome. Well, we can jump in. Is there anything you wanted to say before we get started? It's okay if there's not.
Uh, no, I mean, I'm just trying to, I guess, understand a little bit more about what I should be doing in the game. As you can see, I'm pretty low MMR. I'm just trying to focus on a few things. Yeah, so I mostly try and play mid of late, trying to get better.
Okay.
I think my laning is okay, but I think some of the mid to late game decision making is a bit iffy. And this was one where it was kind of close and then we lost. So yeah, trying to see what could be done differently.
Gotcha. How long have you been playing Dota for?
Started last year and started playing ranked earlier this year, a few months ago.
Okay, so not that long. Less than a year.
Yeah, about a year. I think about like 13, 14 months.
Okay, okay. Still pretty new though.
Yeah, although apparently, so I think if you look at the loading screen, it says my first game was in 2012. I think I downloaded it once. Just played like
Nice.
2 games and yeah. Had it weird and never came back to it until last year.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, let's see what we see. Starting items look fine. It's pretty normal.
The battle begins.
Okay, so you missed the block, but you tried. It's not a big deal. Here in this situation, it's really important that you use defensive creep aggro to get these creeps off this high ground and down here.
Yep. Okay.
Just because it'll be easier for you to last it, you won't miss, and then also this guy can't like go to harass you while you're trying to get the last hits.
No, you don't.
But yeah, just in that specific situation where he's got it on his hill, it's like pretty good to do. Okay, not too bad. Using your spells for last hits, hitting him with it at the same time. It's pretty good. Got your ball coming out at a good time.
I feel like my laning is okay. Not amazing, obviously, but like yeah.
Yeah, no, you're not doing too bad so far. Alright, you're going for the null. Seems reasonable. Nice. Yeah, this guy's outlast hitting you a little bit. It's pretty hard to last hit with Lina. Backpacking some items for bottling. It's nice. I would say it's pretty important to like finish draining those bottle charges before you pick up the rune. I don't know. I don't know if it's a habit or you just like, kind of messed it up a little bit this time. But I think you had a bottle charge left, and you still kind of had one going when you picked up the rune, and it just puts you like 3/4 mana instead of like half mana, which is nice because you use mana.
I'm still.
CS.
I think you were saying I'm still kind of working on getting the whole habit of like backpacking and doing that properly.
Yeah, and if you're just practicing that, then it won't be perfect, and that's okay. You'll get better as you as time goes on. That's good. That's good. I kind of like what I'm seeing, honestly. Obviously, you're not doing it perfectly, but you're kind of going for it. I think here your positioning is pretty important because this guy's really low. If you noticed, like with this, he's got really low HP. So you are like very strong compared to him, and he has to be very afraid of you. So here you can just stand on the high ground, and like I'm not telling you to dive this guy, right? But like if he does something dumb, once your spell's off cooldown, you might kill him again. But if you don't see him, you can't do that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So definitely position on the high ground when you got the advantage, because like that dragon slave, like he might have just died if you'd been able to see him and like hit him with it.
Easier than shooting creeps.
So bring the null out. Clarity award, nice. I would definitely use this time as well, not only to buy those items, which I think is good, but like use some of this bottle charge.
Yep.
If you want you can try the backpack thing again. You kind of are. Okay, okay. You're doing it. You're doing it. Here again, defensive aggro would be good.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. Alright, we're stacking. Nice. Don't see this a lot in Heralds.
I have like a very basically a formula I try and follow in the sort of first 5-10 minutes. I could probably be more aggressive on the other guy, but I just sort of focus on doing some basic things.
Yeah, I don't mind the I don't mind like not being overly aggressive at this phase. Like I prefer that people like focus on CS, and that's what I tell people. Like if I see them being overly aggressive, I tell them it's better just focus on CS, right? If the guy's like begging to get killed, like you can go for it, but like otherwise just play your own game and focus. Here, this is a situation I've seen specifically on Lina players before, where you're nuking the wave, and it puts, once you have 2 points in your queue, it actually puts this range creep in deny range. So you gotta stop doing it unless you like hit this range creep down first to get it low enough to where your Dragon Slave then finishes it off. Because I've seen this before, specifically on a Lina player. He was like against Medusa, and he did exactly what you're doing, and he got like a bunch of range creeps denied. So just something to keep in mind, that it becomes less like good to like just constantly nuke down the wave if you're like putting that creep in deny range and then not being able to like get it. It's nice though. Definitely want to backpack the knoll. Backpacking the knoll here is like more important than the branches early.
Right. Yeah.
But you know, it's pretty advanced. I'm not like happy that you're like starting to do it already, and you obviously know what it is. It's not a huge deal. And yeah, here again, that range creep, just kind of a free deny for him.
Yeah, it's a thing on Kunkka as well, that I've worked out exactly what the right things to do with Kunkka are, so I still need to work it out on Lina.
Yeah, it's a little tough. But like in this situation where you're like not really ready to hit like these creeps, you know, you could just hit this range creep like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
I think you only need to hit it twice now that you're level 3, and then your Dragon Slave will just clear everything, and that'll give you time to like go to the small camp, or rotate to a rune, or whatever you want to do. I guess you get the ward down that you got. I like that you got it. Nice. Okay, cool. It's like you knew what I was gonna say back when you were playing this game. For the stack again. I don't mind this. Well, this is actually very good. I just want you to clear this first.
Right. Okay. I don't think I can clear it fast enough and stack it.
Maybe that's correct. So you have the ward down. Yeah, you probably can't. I think you're right. I'm not a mid player, so I don't know these small timings, but I think you're right based on what I'm seeing. I don't think that would have been possible.
So this one I stuffed up slightly. I should have used this before it ran out, but I didn't.
Oh, did you have a bottle charge left? You picked it up?
Bottle charge, and also the invisible. You'll see, I think, this one.
Oh.
But it might be the next one. There's one of these that I stuffed up.
Alright, that's not a big deal. I mean, you're doing very well. You can see on the CS, you're doing very well, which is what I like to see. This is like, if you play like this every game, like you won't be... Like, this laning is good enough to get you like out of Herald, in my opinion, so far. Especially if you
I think my laning is...
small creep aggro and like not letting you deny some of the range creep things. That is definitely good enough laning to get you out of Herald.
I can usually get 50 to 60 last hits most games.
Okay, sweet.
But I think there's something I'm doing that's wrong after that.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so here I think I should have rotated, but I didn't. That was wrong.
I mean, honestly, I don't care if you rotate or not. Like, as like a Herald player, I don't think it's that important that you like put emphasis on the rotations. I think just kind of increasing your ability in this phase of the game, and like you're doing really well here, so like I'm not complaining too much, but just focusing on this stage and getting it right, and not like, you know, kind of completely leaving the lane. Okay, there you kind of went for it. Looks like you're like learning a little bit. You hit the range creep a couple times before.
Yeah, I know at level, once you have 4 points, you need at least 1, if not 2 hits. I think 1 hit Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 1 at level 4. I think it's like 2 at level 3. Alright, so you're farming now. So here's, you want to do the small camp. Is that what you're going to do? Just really amp that efficiency. I'm curious to see what item you end up going for. I wouldn't be afraid to use my illusions here. So in this situation, yeah, you're hitting the tower, which is good. I just would have brought my illusions with me.
Yes, I stuffed up slightly.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Not too much to say about that. Obviously, there's some slight misexecution. I don't know how familiar you are with Enchantress. She does do a lot of damage at this phase, as you saw. I mean, so do you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, before level 6 it's much easier because you can... He doesn't have the impetus.
Alright, going for the stack again. Didn't get the rune this time. Go ahead and check the other rune. It's reasonable. Enchantress is bottom. It's good. I want to see you hit this tower. I think that's what you do. Nice. Yeah, this is really, really good. Like with the catapult and like while the Ench is in here. Nice! Took a whole tower for free. Sweet. So you gotta buy something. You have way too much gold. Unless you're going bots, in which case you only have a little bit too much gold.
Yeah, I think I usually go bots first.
Okay, that's reasonable. Just want to buy it earlier. I would just put it in the shift queue. Or in your quick buy at some point, and then you won't forget. Okay, so you invis rotate bottom. I don't hate this. Yeah, it didn't work out, unfortunately. It's not working out. Alright, that works. Sweet. Yeah, definitely way late on the bots, though.
Yeah.
1,000 gold late. Obviously, we're fighting, and I don't expect you to like buy it during the fight, but you like have it by this point, which would be nice, because then like you kind of used most of your mana, and what you would want to do is you want to like farm this camp, and if you have any mana left, you're gonna like farm this camp, and you just like bots home, and just completely reset, and then ideally not really play down here much anymore, unless you're like rotating your team.
This game was really interesting because, well, you'll see.
Okay. So you have your bots now. Yeah, you're kind of sticking around down here, which I'm not a fan of. And this happens a lot in Herald games, where like the Radiant, like whichever team is like kind of ahead usually fixates on like defending this tower, and it's just not really the best use of your time.
Yeah, I think I realized that.
So you
What?
Oh, your monkey was coming over here. That's unfortunate. Kind of like taking his farm now. It wasn't like really here yet when you TP. I don't really mind this TP. It's kind of unfortunate because you guys both end up in the same.
Yeah, I think I did accidentally
not ideal.
brief him while I was jungling in a minute, but
yeah, well, just like in terms of like farm setup, like you should just know. I'm not like blaming you for like this happening, but like you TP'd here and now he's like here. He just like ran straight from here over here, so like he wasn't quite here when you started TPing. But like just so you know, this is like not ideal that like you guys are farming the same wave together.
Yeah.
Here, I think it would be better to just go wherever he's not. Like if he's wants to push the lane here, I would just go farm the triangle, and then and if he goes farm the triangle, then stay in the lane, of course. Yeah. Like it's really important that one of you stays in the lane, but it's just really inefficient to like be sharing this farm on two cores. Yeah. Super inefficient. Which is like classic Herald stuff. So it is what it is, but just want to try to avoid it.
Yeah.
Straight BKB.
Yeah, it's a bad exit.
Kind of chilling up here a long time. Yeah, so this is kind of what I thought I'd see. Is like this is a common problem for people at your level. Is you don't know when to like just go back to base and like reset, because that's like okay to do, and I think that low MMR players a lot of times like think it's not okay to do. Like they think it's like a quote unquote waste of time to like go back to base. when you're sitting on like no mana like this, when you clear this, this is fine. You're sitting on 95 mana, and you've got this lane shoved all the way in. Like you kind of done your job up here. You don't need to like take this tower. You what you've wanted to do, your goal was to shove it all the way in. So then if you go reset, then you just have mana to like do things, right? Because you can't go like help your team right now.
Yeah.
Or even just continue farming efficiently. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. Okay. Something I'm still working on as well. I think there's a
Yeah, so what you should be looking to do, like on these bots, like mana farming heroes, like this, Storm. Well, Storm doesn't get bots, but like Lina, Leshrac sometimes. It's kind of the same with even non-bots heroes. Like Storm still counts as like a mana farming hero, like Void Spirit. Like as you naturally like just play, if you're playing efficiently and using your spells to farm, you'll just run out of mana, and like that's okay. And you're flying yourself out clarities, which is like helps mitigate it and keeps you on the map a little bit longer. But at some point, you run into this situation where there's just nothing more efficient than just going back to base.
Yep.
Reset, refill, and then like walk out and farm your way out. And sometimes what'll happen is like you can farm your way back to base and then TP out. And sometimes you're like way out here in no man's land, and it's better to just TP base and then like walk back out. So you just have like 3 clarities. And yeah, this is like really dangerous. Oops, it's too far. This is like really dangerous to be hitting the tower like this. Better players will punish you for this. Like what your job is to push these creeps into the tower, and then it's to kind of like back off.
Okay. I think I had seen most of them bottom, which is why I wasn't as worried. But yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah, I mean, even if they are all bottom, it's just too early to like really be interested in like trying to take / pressure this tower. I had a very similar coaching situation actually. There was a guy who was playing Ember. It was funny, and then he was pushing lanes really well, but then he was like hitting the tower, and I was like, you can't hit the tower. So what you should be looking to do is push lanes efficiently and then rejoin your team. And given that you don't have mana, you don't have the option of rejoining your team. But like what you'd ideally do is, let's just go back to where, oh wait, how did this happen? When did you get top? So you're like top now. Wait, sorry. It's all your mana. Oh, because you TP'd from bottom straight top. So you didn't have full mana when you got here.
Yeah, so I should have maybe gone back to base. With bots,
it's okay. With bots, you can do this. Like your cooldown's almost off. So like pushing it in here, good. This is all good. And like, if you want to stay for like one more wave, like this wave, I think that's fine. And then just go back to base right now. Because your goal should be to push it out and then rejoin your team. And then, you'll take some sort of fight, or maybe your team's in a bad part of the map and you don't want to go join them specifically, but it's still more efficient for you to reset. And eventually your team won't be playing down here, and then you'll want to like push this in and then go join them instead of hit the tower. Like that's what your focus would be.
Yeah. I think part of it for me was also, I suppose you should go back to base, and the kind of, I didn't want to go join the team because that didn't look like a great kind of fight to me. It didn't seem like the right part of the map to be. Like, I don't think that tower was doing that much for us. But.
Yeah, they're not fighting the right part of the map. You've kind of like sustained this playstyle with the clarities. Okay.
So this is. I'll give you the background. So I was staying up here. I thought I was trying to get them to come top. They didn't. They were complaining, and so you might have seen I sort of briefly stopped in the trees and opened scoreboard. That was basically me muting them all because they were complaining. But I think it still got to me a bit because I saw them fighting me, and I thought, okay, well I can try and push the wave and connect to them. But in hindsight, this was a terrible fight to show up to, I think.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind you showing up to this if you just had mana, and it's just a result of like kind of the way you're playing is like gonna leave you a perennially low mana with only using the clarities to like refill. So if you kind of play the exact way you're playing, but occasionally go back to base and then like kind of run it back, just go push out top or mid again, and then you can kind of join that same fight with more mana. And, maybe it still doesn't go perfectly well. You don't have, like, a strong item timing yet. So you're going BKB next. I think that's good. I just don't know, like, when I'm, like, coaching Herald and Guardian, and, like, even sometimes Crusader level players, I don't think it's great to, like, get BKB, like, second item. Like, high level Dota, like, this is definitely correct.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of... This is what I try and take items out of the equation. I just sort of follow the kind of... I guess the build or what people are doing. Actually, even this game, I was thinking, like, it actually may not have been so good. Like, I think Silver Edge might have been better as a first item. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just almost a force of habit. I try and do it, but, yeah.
Yeah, I would, if you're playing, like, so Lina is a very cookie-cutter hero, and you can kind of do almost the same build every time and have it work pretty well. And I like your, like, concept of taking the items out of it. I don't think when you're in Herald you need to be, like, trying to do anything super fancy. I would just say maybe just change your cookie cutter build to delay BKB and get, like, the Shadow Blade. Don't go full Silver Edge, right? There's like it would be like an extra 24-50 gold. But, like, get the Shadow Blade first, and it's Herald, so you'll be fine with delaying your BKB a little bit. And that'll just, like, it'll just make you do more damage. Your BKB will still come out at a good time because you're farming pretty efficiently, and this is, like, way more efficient than I normally see in Herald. Alright. Now what's happening? I was kind of, like, talking about the items. So you walked back out of base. So you guys are, like,
I think this is the way
looking to take a fight.
Yeah, it seemed like a fight might have broken out. Yeah, I think Undying charged up that hill blind and where they obviously all had been. And
yeah. So here's the thing: is you're leaving base, like, now, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, what are your options for, like, leaving the base? You see them, like, grouped mid. And it's like, do you want to fight them is the question that you have to ask yourself. Because if you don't want to fight them, I don't think what you do is good.
Yeah.
Because you just kind of walk towards where they are. Which means, like, possibly fight them, right? Because you've got bots. You've got options. So it's like, what do you want to do right now?
I was a little unsure. I mean, it seemed like if we fight around our tower, that might be an okay fight to take if they really try and push it. Because we're all up and it's near our tower, so I thought that might be okay. And I think I noticed they were a bit split as well, so that was my sort of thinking.
A is bottom. However, you guys did just take a big fight. I don't know how well you know all the heroes. I mean, you've been playing for a year, so you probably have a good idea, but, like, it's pretty important to play around your timings, especially when you have heroes that have big ultimates. So, like, the fact that Warlock doesn't have his ultimate right now, and that you're 800 gold off your BKB, to me that says, like, I don't think you really want to fight them right now.
Yep.
Like, if you farm for 2 minutes, and then you guys have Golem and you have BKB, then it's kind of a different story.
Yep.
So this concept of, like, playing around your timings, I think, is really important. And not forcing fights before you're, like, ready to take them. Like, priority one is, like, you. Like, do you want to take this fight? Not really. Like, you don't have BKB.
Yeah.
You're not particularly strong right now. Like, once you have BKB and, like, your 15 talent, presumably take the health.
Yeah.
Like, you took the Dragon Slave cooldown. I think you should lean damage. Damage.
Yeah. So I mean, I sort of follow that seems to be the standard build guides that sort of suggest taking Dragon Slave cooldown. I think the theory, my understanding, I could be wrong about this, is that the shorter Dragon Slaves makes it easier to get Fiery Soul stacks up and keep them. Like, if you basically suddenly a fight breaks out, then you can quickly throw a Dragon Slave out and get some stacks up quickly if you don't have any.
Right.
I don't know though. I mean, that's just it seems to be the build that most of the guides suggest.
Are you familiar with Dota 2 Pro Tracker?
Yes. Yes, I think. Let's have a look.
Hold on. I have it pulled up. I just am not sharing my screen. I'm sharing Dota only.
Yeah.
Okay, can you see this now?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Yeah, true. Most of them are going damage.
Yeah, it's the right talent, and they literally all are taking the right talent at 10. Literally all of them.
Yeah.
Every single one. So just start taking the damage now. Oh wait, somebody did it. Oh, this was support though.
Yeah.
Support did not take it, but everybody else took the right talent.
Yeah.
So definitely
Okay.
take the damage talent. No question. Damage then
Okay.
pretty much exclusively the health as well. So a couple people took the light striker damage, but I would say the damage, then the health, and then the fiery soul per stack, and the attack range. Just kind of lean into the one play style, you know.
Yeah.
Because if you run around like bots BKB Shadowblade, like your point is to like rake the people down. So
Radiant's middle tower
not a huge deal, you know. It's not going to be like why you like lose a game, but it'll just make your life easier. So like we said, we don't really want to be fighting here. So it would have like top is pushed in very far, so it's not like you needed to go top. But I still think going top would have been fine, given that you saw them all mid. Because you can go top, you can push it in, you can kind of jungle. You kind of go back to what you were doing before, honestly. Playing this part of the map, farming all these camps, and meanwhile keeping this lane shoved in all the way is like a good thing. Like what you were doing, I liked what you were doing. You just didn't, ever reset for mana. So you guys like aren't forcing this fight. Undying gets picked off. You just haven't hit any creeps in a long time. Like a long time. You were doing really well efficiency-wise, and then you just fell off a cliff. So you hit that camp, or this wave, you hit this at like almost 1930, and I just want to like go back to the last time you like hit a creep. It was like up here before you like TP to the fight. So like when did you TP to the fight? So like 17 before 1730. So it's been like 2 minutes. So you're at 107 CS now, and then we jump forward 2 minutes, and you're at 111, 109.
Yeah.
2 full minutes, and you got no creeps, and you didn't even die. So like this is a big problem for you. I don't know if this happens every game, but like if you want to like scale as a core, you can't not hit a creep for 2 minutes.
Yep.
You know. So yeah, like joining the fight, obviously fine, and like running away after the fight was over and resetting, fine. But then you need to look to like kind of hit creeps unless you guys are immediately going to take a fight, because like you didn't. We talked about it. Obviously, in the future you'll know like I don't really want to fight here. Or hopefully you'll have a better idea if you want to fight or not. Kind of take a look at your timings, your item timings, any important ultimates or items coming up for your teammates, and then just go hit creeps if nothing's gonna happen. Because these bots allow you to like play the side lanes really well, and like a Shadow Blade will play into that too, so you don't have to be quite as scared, right? You can just like kind of Shadow Blade if you're afraid of dying. So it'll give you maybe a little bit more confidence to like play the side lanes if you don't see them, because you kind of have these bots, and we'll see how it goes. It's just been like a little too inefficient. You walk back. So you like come to this fight.
Because I saw Axe top, so I figured we had a numbers advantage.
Right. When did you TP? So you stop pushing. So is your idea just for the Enchantress? Because you didn't really look at anything with your hero screen, so I'm not sure what you were thinking.
Yeah, like it seemed like it was Enchantress, because I'd just seen Axe top, and so so my kind of thing was like, again, I try and push out waves and then connect if I have the chance. And one thing I look for in terms of a good fight is like, would we have a numbers advantage, right? Like if I just seen Axe tops, then I'm like, well, he can't TP down there, so at worst it's a 4v5.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense to me. I think that you have the right idea. You'd want to make sure you have your item first. I think it's on the courier, so like you kind of almost have it. So that's fine. I would just say that you don't need to be like you definitely want to show up if it's a fight you can impact, but you don't, as a bots hero who's like primarily doing the job of like keeping the lanes out, it's really important that you don't come like too early, or if you end up not being needed.
Right.
Because you kind of just TP in preemptively, right? Like they hadn't started fighting when you TP'd. So you kind of TP'd before anything started happening. And kind of walking into this curse, which is unfortunate. Didn't really look like they were getting him. Like, it kind of looked like he was just going to walk it off. But if you had, like, waited a couple seconds maybe and then TP'd, like, if you would see what is breaking out and then decide if you want to go versus TPing preemptively. Because a lot of times what will happen is a fight will start and then it won't look good. And then you're like, I don't really want to TP. But what happens is you auto TP, then you're just already there. And then if it doesn't look good, then you're already there. Right? Whereas if you kind of take your time on these TPs and definitely don't TP preemptively, kind of try and wait to see what's going on. Because like right now you've like seeded this whole top and Axe doing this by your like preemptive TP, and then you guys didn't get anything out of this TP, and Axe has gotten a bunch of free farm, and now your like lane's not pushed in. Yeah, this guy's hard to kill. Yeah. Oh, unfortunate. Alright. It's working out. It was tough, but we got there. Hard guy to bring down. Okay, so you're starting your Silver Edge. Definitely be careful what you're buying. But like go the Shadow Blade first.
Yes,
like
I think that usually is the way that I go.
Yeah, let's see what you do here.
Because there's a broadsword in both Crystallis and Shadow Blade, I think.
Oh, that is true. I didn't think about that. Okay, so you walk out of base again. Hold on, let's take a look at what your options are here. I don't hate walking out of base. I kind of like walking out of base in general, but when you're a bots hero, you kind of don't have to walk out of base. Bots allows you to TP out of base.
Yeah, I mean, this game in particular, I was sort of slightly wary of being caught in the wrong position because the fight's sort of breaking out all over the place, and so I'd try and hold my TP. But also in this case, because I think the lane wasn't that far away, so I didn't think that there was like that much to walk to. I think that was my thinking there. So there wasn't like I wouldn't gain that much by like being out, but
yeah. Well, here's my thought on it: is your TP's up, and they've got 3 heroes dead, so you can kind of farm wherever you want right now, as long as you're not worried about like solo dying to like Axe, right? Yeah. So like, I'm not saying you need to TP like mid here. Like, that's kind of nuts. But you could definitely TP here, and you have like kind of like 40 seconds, maybe not 40, like at least 30 seconds of like farming before you kind of have to worry about like dying to something they're doing. Right?
Yeah.
So to me, it's really important to like utilize those 30 seconds, and that means TPing here. And plus, if we talk about 30 seconds, right, your TP cooldown is only 40 seconds. So it'll basically be almost up by the time you like want to look to make another move or like possibly dodge whatever they're doing, etc. So yeah, you block here. I think coming top is fine, good enough. I wouldn't have done anything different. It's like tries to go on you, even if you land in that call, like you wouldn't really need to be afraid. TP mid. Maybe just because Axe went on you, you TP'd mid? Like,
I mean...
here anymore?
I mean, I guess these ones I'm not sure. And also I think Enchantress was showing mid, and so I thought that might be... I think that's what I was thinking. But...
Right. So... It's important to think about, like, kind of what you want to do. And... It's not a very helpful thing to say. But, like, your Warlock's dead right now, right?
Yep.
So you don't really want to, like, group up and fight them. You kind of want to just be farming and wait for your Warlock to be up. And probably, ideally, wait for his ultimate to be up before grouping up with your team. So you kind of just TP towards two of your teammates. It's really hard to like just gank a hero's like here, shoving it in when you guys have no like if you had a Shadow Blade and you wanted to like try and like sneakily catch him, that's one thing. But like you guys don't really have that potential given your lineup, and maybe it's just like maybe I just see that and you don't, and that's kind of okay because you know, I have 13,000 hours in this game and you don't. But just try not to group up with your team when it doesn't seem like a good time to like be grouped up.
Yep.
Because if you force the group up at like an inefficient time, it just like kind of takes away from your team's efficiency as a whole. And like if something does happen, it's like, well, we didn't want anything to happen anyways. So almost our Shadow Blade. This axe is annoying. Definitely cannot really kill you.
Yeah, I think if I stuck around, it might have, but...
You're running all the way base here. Yeah, I don't really like this either. You're like running all the way base when you have like full mana. Like maybe you're just really scared of this guy, but like even here, like he like already used his blink combo on you. Like you can just queue out this wave and then like walk away. And I would just kind of hang out here because he's shoving it in. And like, you know, play accordingly, especially when you start to see them on your wards. But like notice they kind of all like walk right. Yeah. So you could still be like, if you were still just hanging around that tower top, you could just like walk back to it and push it out again. You're doing a lot of walking for having boots of travel.
Okay.
Like I definitely tell people to like walk out of base a lot at lower MMRs, but like with boots of travel, you definitely should not be walking out of base a lot. Or, you know, if you need to go to base, like TP to base if your TP's up. Because what happened here, just like if we just watch the minimap, is like they pressure top and we didn't apply any counter pressure top. Let me speed up a little bit. So you can see they just kind of walk into your triangle, or not into your triangle, sorry. They kind of like walk root mid, and then they like walk towards like your jungle, and they just find two of your teammates here. And they could kind of do that because all their lanes were like pushed in really decently far. Your bottom wasn't, but like their top lane was pushing far, the mid lane was pushing far. So taking yourself off the map and not pushing in those lanes, it doesn't prevent this from happening, but like it means when it happens, like you're like here pressuring their tier 2 instead of letting this happen. Also, your Caudle has been blasting out these waves a lot, I'm noticing, and it seems like you're sort of deferring to him, but I definitely, if you're like the core mid and like this isn't like your carry, I would go take that farm instead.
I noticed that he would do it kind of basically on our side of the map and then not any further than that.
What the heck is happening? Why are we on Lucky's? Yeah, well that's what players in Herald will do. They love to soak up farm on your side of the map and then just stay there. Alright, so TP into a fight. That's good.
Yeah, again, it was kind of in front of our base, I thought.
Wow, okay, nice. So, you've won a fight. They're all dead, except for Drow who bought back. What do you do here? Yeah, I really don't like you're walking out of base again, dude. They're all dead.
Okay.
They're all dead. TP out of base and farm aggressively right now. Like, I want you to TP onto, like, this wave. And then Shadow Blade up. And if Drow's, like, here, you just kill him. Granted, he has a Shadow Blade, so maybe you don't kill him. But, like, try to kill him, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like very passive at this phase for like them all being dead and you're just walking out of base is just way too passive. And like you walk towards top, which is like not even, it's not even incorrect. You just could have TP'd there and been farming it. So you're just putting a lot less pressure on the map than you should be right now. You're giving them too much respect, it seems like. Yeah, this guy is kind of nuts. Alright, they take a fight into your triangle. Classic Herald. You guys win another fight. Alright. Chasing this Ench. Just like whatever. The rune. Kill him. Chain feed is all good. It's all good. Okay. What are you guys doing here? Are you gonna go high ground? No. So you're not going to go high
Like
ground.
I was trying to. Yeah.
So as soon as you decide you're not going high ground, but they've still got like heroes dead, it's like becomes again like get the waves pushed out and like set up for like your next objective.
Yeah.
So if you TP like top on this wave right now, that'd be really good. You're just doing a lot of walking. I definitely would want to see you TPing more. There's just way too much not TPing for having bots.
Okay.
Like your efficiency will just skyrocket because you'll just be like you'll be places faster. Yeah, again, this is like I think it's giving them a little bit too much respect. Like with your Shadow Blade and like BKB, like you don't really die to them, especially if you're not like lingering on the wave itself, right? Like you kill waves super fast. So like what you do here, kind of like right clicking down. You can use both spells; it's not a big deal. But like if you use both spells, you have to like it takes you a grand total of like 3 seconds to kill a creep wave.
Yep.
So if you walk up with this wave and you show on the wave, but just burst it down and kill it instantly, and then like just push Shadow Blade and walk away, you'll be able to get away with that in like Herald and Guardian and Crusader and probably Archon. You just get away with that like over and over.
Yep.
You're definitely just giving like too much respect here and not taking this wave. Because what you want to do is you want to take this wave and then you want to like Shadow Blade and like walk back this way, and your team wants to like take Roshan. Like that's what your team should want to do right now. You're kind of ahead. They've been throwing. You have like almost all your abilities up. Your Warlock will have his ult soon. Undying's ult doesn't really matter. And it kind of said you just default to doing nothing. Seems like you're scared. Like you don't know where they are.
Yeah, I didn't
like,
know where
if you're like pushing in these like one extra wave and then like proactively going to make a move, like you'll get to whatever you're doing faster as opposed to just like waiting for the enemy Herald players to like do something.
Yeah. Oh, I think actually this might have been I was calling for them because I was like, I'm pretty sure Drow's going to go on me, so just come with me and we can probably get a. That's what happened.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's what I was waiting for. Yeah, that was what I was.
Oh, cool bait.
Yeah. Yeah, that I remember.
If you're setting that up, I guess that's kind of cool. I wouldn't expect your teammates to like buy into that a lot, but if they do, then cool.
Yeah, they seemed open to it, so I thought like. I mean, I throw these things out, and sometimes they say yes, and sometimes they don't. So. Yeah.
Sure. So again, you guys win a fight. The Drow's already dead. You TP in. You're not really needed, but like you were coming to the fight, right?
Yeah.
It's really important here that like I would just call to like take the Roshan here. Like, is that something you think you can do? Like, if you and Monkey just go hit the Roshan?
Yeah, I think we can between the two of us. I feel like I'm not sure if we took it now or shortly after this. Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah. So you like push this out. It's like okay. But now just nothing's happening again.
Yeah.
And like you could just like force the objective while they have like 2 of their really important heroes dead. And yeah, again you're like backing off. Like their Drow just respawned, their axe is dead. You've got BKB alive. They really just cannot kill you. So I think you just need to push your limits a little bit more when farming. I'm not saying to play like a psycho, right? But you know, just walk up with the wave, you know, and you have to monitor. You have to monitor their like respawns to like do this effectively. Because if you're not paying attention, yeah, you're gonna like just be mindlessly pushing, and they're gonna have respawned and have time to get to you, and then you will feed. But just based on what I'm seeing you just give them a little bit too much respect, especially for Herald. Man, this Drow's a psycho. I know you guys don't see him, he's like shadow bladed, but just like the way he's playing is like, what? Nice dust.
Yeah, no one was carrying dust, so.
And they're just gonna take fights. Nice. Yeah, this obviously goes very well for you guys. So kill the Ench. Kill the Wyvern. Yeah, you're really respecting this axe too much, dude. Why are you running away from him?
I think because everyone else was running away. Like I didn't think.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
You're probably just maybe. I think you're just not experienced enough at like kind of monitoring like fights and like taking in all the information of like what's relevant. But like
I think
they used all their important spells like the A ulti and the Wyvern ulti, and their 2 damage dealers are dead. Like these 3 heroes together don't do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And you're still at full HP, and actually 2 seconds later this Wyvern also dies. So like his axe is like alone here. He's very alone here. So this will just come more in time, I guess. It's kind of like just, I think maybe you just being more of a quote unquote rookie. Oh my god, this AA is still here. What is happening? These guys are nuts. Wow. Unbelievable, actually.
this is far from the wildest thing I've seen.
Oh yeah, but I really like this TP though. This is a very nice TP. It's probably your best like TP that I've seen you do all game. I'd be bottling here. I haven't seen you like bottle a lot, but like you definitely should just use all 3 of your bottle charges here. No question. This guy is just a crazy psycho. I'm kind of looking to turn it on him. I don't mind that you don't. So your team's like pushing. Their draw's top.
Yeah.
And they've still got 2 heroes dead, and you don't have a lot of mana. So I think you need to like go base or like use all your bottle charges and your clarity. You kind of need to like be ready to fight again like very soon. Kind of just hanging around on low mana. Like yeah, you regen over time, but like, there's no reason not to use these bottle charges.
Yeah.
You could even like you could have even like swung mid and like checked for a rune or something, you know. Just keeping the Grove Bow. I wouldn't mind that. Now you're finally using the bottle charges.
Here we were hunting because we saw.
Dead. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Bounty.
I want to wrap up this replay soon. Maybe look at another one.
Yeah.
See them on bottom. You don't, by the way, you don't have to wait for your bottle to be off cooldown to pick up the rune.
Right.
It can't be in your backpack, but as soon as the like 6-second cooldown or whatever starts, you can pick it up.
Good to know, yeah. Because I have made the mistake that it's in my backpack and I don't actually get it.
Yeah. Fight. Axe trades his life for a warlock. Roche? Okay, you're finally roshing. It's good. You did it now. Well, you could have done it earlier, but that's okay. Connell's dead. Go to the top. It's reasonable. Your team's fighting bottom. Definitely would try and at least take a look at what's going on. I don't necessarily mind that you didn't like TP down there, but it's hard to know because you didn't look.
Yeah.
Actually, been a big fight here. You try your best. This is just hard because I think the Warlock had died. Yeah, with how they were aggressively positioned on the map, I kind of get what you were going for. I think you just walked too close to him, positioning wise, which is like is what it is, right? I'm not blaming you too much, but they like showed up with a bunch of heroes here.
Yeah. I think after this just becomes like a series of throws back and forth. Like, we all died,
sure
and they all died, and we all died, and yeah. Anyway.
Alright.
Cool.
Send me another replay then. We'll take a look at that.
Okay, so that was like a. Do you want another close game or a game where I was doing better, or what do you think would be?
I'm just something a little different.
Okay, let's
maybe on a different hero.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you a different hero then. I was the Kunkka.
Kunkka? Okay. Alright. Pretty reasonable starting items. You could start with a fairy fire too, but I don't hate that you didn't.
Yeah, so like I think I've worked out that with this amount of items, I think I need 4 or maybe 5 last hits in the first 3 waves. I can get my bottle, and like
Okay.
any more items, then I need more last hits, and I'm not necessarily sure I can always get that. So.
No, that's very reasonable. That's actually a very good way to think about it. Because when I see normally people at your level, that's not what they're thinking about. And like I see people at your level like just overbuy items and they just don't get their bottle in time. So if that's what you've determined and you're thinking about it that way, that's good. And if you ever start to feel more comfortable like getting CS and like feel like you know feel like you can get the extra CS and throw an extra item in there, you know, you can kind of go for it. But like that's good that you're thinking about it that way. So get some profit. A little torrent action. Didn't quite get that last hit. And kind of give it the deny. That's a little unfortunate. I don't mind you're like throwing these out. Kind of have the mana, especially with your bottle coming out. So this is pretty reasonable. Just because they're not hitting doesn't mean it's like bad to try for it. Nice.
I was trying to. He seemed a bit low, so I was trying to harass him. I usually don't do as much, but I thought.
It's all good. It's all good. Okay, so we're gonna get the other rune.
Yeah, this slightly actually messes up my timings because, like, yeah, he didn't take the runes, so.
It's okay. Wow, this is pretty advanced stuff here. Going back to block your wave. Nice.
I think a hit and a torrent at level 4 or 2 hits will. A torrent will kill the range creep.
Wow, you're stacking that way. Interesting.
So that was a bit of luck. I usually don't land that one all the time.
Well, the fact that you
It's
even like know that you can go for that is like very interesting to me. You're like Herald too, and you're like stack.
I think I was
with Kunkka.
I was actually 10 MMR I think when this game started or finished.
Wow.
One or the other.
Jeez. So something you can do here is just go farm his small camp. Like you farm camps really fast at this point.
Yeah.
So just go farm a small camp here, right?
Yeah.
You've got time.
I think. Yeah. No, you're right. I think I was thinking of going back to my camp. That might have been what it was. But yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah. If you're like winning your lane and doing well, you just go farm his small camp. That really juices your efficiency. And like, if you like can. I know it's like another thing to think about. It's like, should I be taking like his small camp or something? But if you can kind of get that down, that'll really like skyrocket your efficiency.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Bottom tower is under attack.
Dropping a ward. See, doing the torrent and last hit thing. Going phase. Some more body
find-
blocking.
I find it a little bit tricky just because sometimes I phase boots, but then I feel like I need to get bots later anyway, especially against a profit later in this game. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Kunkka isn't really a bots hero. I don't think. Come on, just because we can.
Yeah, it's generally not. I think that the build is usually Racer, phase, BKB.
Bottle, phase, BKB, double bracer, phase, wand, BKB. Seems like a lot of people are getting wand for the most part. Not everybody though. Silver Edge. Okay. You already cleared that though. But like here,
Yeah, I didn't.
I know we talked about this last game. You're like going for like the rune timing. But like if you're gonna go for the rune timing, I wouldn't do this. Because then you just walk away here and like these both have like 5 HP, right? You're just like giving up this CS.
Yeah.
So, whereas if you don't hit it, then you're not like they're not almost dead and you don't lose them out. But like I think
back there, I didn't realize the time and like I hit it and I was like, oh crap, I gotta get the rune.
Yeah, because you just missed a bunch of like free like CS and XP and gold for that. You really just didn't have to. Yeah, here again, I would just go farm his small camp.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of take the more aggressive farm. Like when you're doing well and you're kind of like farming freely and he's like not bothering you, just take his small camp, you know? Because then it like puts you closer to like be here if you want to like harass him or if like, you know, just kind of makes him like have to play more like scared. Like it'll give you like opportunities. Like if you're not afraid at all, like that's how you should play.
Yeah.
You definitely need to be flying these items out to yourself. There's like too much gold stockpiled, and you could have flown out whichever item you bought first already, and then you could be flying out the next item sooner. It's definitely a big deal. Might not seem like it, but it really does like add up and stuff.
Yeah, I've extended a bit here. I should have de-aggroed the tower, but
yeah, it's kind of a tough kill to get. Yeah, you kind of stick around. Oh, you die? Oh no. Yeah, as soon as you kill him, like you need to like tango and bottle and like run. You know, don't be shy about like regenning up. Like you're pretty low in the way like rum works. I don't know if you know, but it
it picks you down. You can't die from it, but yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna get real low here. It's like the rum in combination with the shadow word is what kills you. But if you had like been bottling before that warlock got there and tangoed and been further away, you definitely wouldn't have died here. Also, if you had your phase boots, that kill attempt would have been easier. It's an extra like 18 damage. Yeah. Also, well, let's just talk about the rotation itself, right? Because what are you giving up for this? Like, you're giving up a small camp and this next wave. And like potentially another small camp. And like, I don't know if you like have thought about this, but like you don't get a lot of gold for kills. 194 gold is not a lot.
Yeah, it's not the gold. It's more, I guess, trying to help out the side lanes and kind of make their games a bit easier if I can.
Right.
Because I've got a lot of net worth, and so that's the kind of. But I know this is the interesting thing. I've noticed that when I go for these side ganks, I tend to have slightly lower net worth and certainly less last hits. Like my best last hits, I think, are like 70 when I just stay in the lane the whole first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's about trying to help the. Yeah, so this is one of those things where I'm not sure what the right thing to do is and how much I should be rotating. The kind of rule I've given myself is if it's a double damage invis or haste, I can try, and other than that, I just basically don't.
Yeah, that's like a pretty solid rule. I don't hate that. I'm just bringing it to your attention. It's like not actually worth. Worth in terms of money usually. But that's okay. Kind of like thinking about the right things. So the prophet's showing top. So you come hit the tower. That's nice. I like that reaction. It's really good. And yeah, you're doing it again going BKB. I definitely would not be going BKB second item. Lina, Kunkka, pretty much anybody. Like, you gotta go something else. Like, these Herald games, like, just nothing happens. For so long that, like, you just get away with, like, not going these items first. I don't know if you ever pick up, like, Armlet, but you can go Armlet or just Shadow Blade to make your life easier.
Yeah, so I used to get Armlet first item, but then I saw on Pro Tracker that most pros weren't going that, and so that's why I stopped doing it. But I don't. So I like this is one of those things where like, and I know that kind of like I've seen some of your videos before, and you sort of suggest following what the pros do in Pro Tracker, and that's why
That's
I sort
true,
of
that's
stopped
true.
doing it. So it was like, okay,
No,
I-
you're
like
right.
I'm not sure why, but yeah, I like armlet. And I used to always go basically first item after boots.
Well, you can see
but,
that like
yeah.
this is sorted by MMR. So like the highest MMR players, like this is like an armlet before a BKB. This guy didn't even end up getting BKB. This guy didn't go armlet, but like this is an armlet before BKB. This is an armlet before BKB. So it's not like totally not done at all.
Yeah.
And I would say like that's like one exception. Like in terms of like the items themselves, like I tell like lower people to like go follow like the pros, right? Don't make it complicated. But in terms of the ordering, just don't rush BKB at this level. It's just it's just so unnecessary. You want an item that accelerates you, because if you just go second item BKB, like on Lina with bots, it's like even a little better because like the bots are kind of what accelerates you and allows you to like continuously farm and like reset easily and then keep farming. But like on a non-bots hero, just getting a BKB second item it just gives you like no scaling potential. Like it just needs to kill creeps faster, you know, scale better into like the middle game. It's just like nice pressure again.
Yeah, I think I saw a profit top, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. No, this is really good. You're doing this very well. Like I've seen like Crusader people like screw this up. Actually, I think I've seen like Legend people screw this up. I think I have a mid Void Spirit Legend guy who like just did not pressure the tower or something. Or maybe that was different. I don't know. Little X snafu there. It's okay. Farming. Yeah, because the thought process should be, I mean, BSJ says this about carry heroes, but like you want to be like a threat. Is like a mid hero, like your primary goal needs to be to like threaten the enemy to like kill them. Like it doesn't matter if you're beating everybody in the game by 40 CS if you go items that the other team doesn't care about. Like is having a 18-minute BKB gonna make them that afraid of you if you're just not doing that much damage, you know?
Yeah.
So think about it that way. Like you definitely need to just be a threat with all this farm that you're getting, because your efficiency is really nice.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's not perfect like we've talked about, but for a Herald, it's like obviously good enough, right? You can see in the like the net worth and the CS, like you're doing really well for your level. Just need to turn that gold into.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I've been struggling with a bit.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Leaning into Slark. It's kind of hard. Yeah, that kind of only went well for you because you are really far ahead. That's okay.
Yeah.
Like, kind of just like seeing how it goes.
Yeah, that was one I wasn't sure who would win that. I didn't.
Yeah, and you know, you kind of found out. You know, you did okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't great though.
Yeah.
He does really not like to be X'd though. Like in terms of like setting up kills on Slark, you're actually a very good hero. But in terms of like 1v1ing him in a lane, it's like not ideal. But you know, you kind of learn that as you play. So just something you pick up over time. Nice ward. You've got your BKB now. I like the way you've been playing a lot, like coming down and kind of forcing that tower. Last game, your team had already taken the tower, so you didn't really need to do it. But this game, you kind of
I mean, again, with the PS6 thing is right. You take the safe lane tower, mid lane tower. I usually end up taking the mid lane first, but I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna take this tower.
So your tower died here, which is kind of bad. So you probably want to like, and you know, in your last game, it wasn't really a big deal. They weren't threatening it, but against like a Prophet, it's a little more dangerous. They've already done a decent amount of damage, so it's something that like you want to keep your eye on, because you had your TP up and it kind of just takes it for free. Just not really what we want.
Yeah.
Not a huge deal, but like if you can prevent it, you should. Your team's fighting the worst part of the map. Classic Herald.
Yeah, it happens. It's so. Yeah.
Okay, so you TP in and get a nice little cleanup kill. It's okay. Notice
I
this
think
BKB
I saw
does not come into play at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have your BKB and you're just playing scared, which is like, you know, Alright, the rest of your team comes. Prophet's now split pushing, though. This... Alright, he orchids you. Yeah, this guy probably has one way to play, and he plays this way all the time. Yeah, because you got your Shadow Blade now. I definitely just mix up the order of those. Or get the Armlet. If you want to get the Shadow Blade and knock an Armlet, that's fine with me. I don't care. Something that, like, accelerates you and makes you more of a kill threat. Wow, your team just loves playing top. You don't even have a tower anymore, and they're just sticking top.
It's like, yeah, I think I was asking them to come bottom.
Yeah, that's just classic
Eventually,
Heralds.
yeah.
It really is.
It's so noticeable as well, like when we play bottom and fight, and then like we take good fights, and when it's top, they're bad fights, and yeah, anyway.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate. Kind of like chained in. If you use your Essence Ring, you might have lived, but it's not a big deal. It's not too bad. It's a good trade overall.
It's kind of weird. I basically heard over the comms, it's like, just stand perfectly still, so I just stood there and I saw the arrow come. It's like, oh, okay, good stuff.
Yeah. Alright, so you're walking at a base, which on a non-bots hero, I like that a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
okay.
Bots heroes, change it up. This is really good, shoving it all the way in. Got this Silver Edge. I don't know that I would like rush Silver Edge. I guess it is. I guess Kunkka really likes the crit.
So this is where I struggle a little bit. Is like, so, Herald games go quite late, and especially this game. You have a lot of net worth, and I don't always know what to. Like other heroes, it's a little bit easier, and like again on Pro Tracker, all sorts of things come out. Yeah, and so I'm never quite sure what to get and when and how.
Itemization is hard, you know. It really is. So I don't expect you to itemize perfectly. I don't itemize perfectly. Kind of just have to take your best guess at, like, you know, kind of know what's happening in the game, know any problems you're having, and go from there, you know? That's really the best advice I can give you. Like, I don't hate Shadowblade as an item. I like the Silver Edge, I mean. Like, I like the Shadowblade pickup. I don't mind getting a Silver Edge eventually. I think it's fine, actually, that you go straight Silver Edge, because Kunkka really does like the crit. But, like, if you were to go, like, this BKB, right, you could go Phase, Bracer, Shadowblade, back for BKB if you wanted, and then, like, back to Silver Edge, you know? Kind of the order to get that Shadowblade out, like, way earlier, and then still get the BKB. And then But, yeah, I would say, like, in general on Kunkka, you kind of just want to be looking at, like, AC. Aghanims is decent.
Yeah, I think I got Aghanims very late in this game. I always struggle. So, like, again, one of the other things I try and take out is, like, having too many buttons pressed, but Aghanims adds a lot. Like, it's fun, and, like, I have to really focus and think about it, but it is, yeah.
Yeah. Not for sure. If you're not sure, I would, like, default to, like, damage. The main way I would think about it is, like these items right now you have are, like, a good, like, base, right? You've got, like, good setup and some damage with Silver Edge. BKB is obviously for survivability. And then at that point, it's, like, you have to consider, like, A, do I need an item beyond BKB that, like, to, like, prevent me from, like, dying? Like, is there something they're doing to me that BKB is not sufficient for? I would say, like, not really this game.
Yeah.
You know? Slark kind of is hitting you.
Yeah.
Which, like, BKB doesn't stop, but, like, you know, there's not like some, like, BKB piercing spell or, like, some crazy high physical damage that would, like, force you to, like, go, like, a Shiva's necessarily or anything like that, or, like, a Lincoln's or a Halberd, right? So given that's the case, it's like, what can you buy to, like, increase your impact, right? And, like, I would imagine for you it's probably mostly going to be damage. Like, I think going AC on average plus, like, Daedalus or Satanic is probably just good, because more damage is better. Things like Ags or Hex are, like, really nice, or, like, Orchid are, like, really nice if your team's gonna like utilize that utility.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, you know, in Herald, I would just go like tanky damage items like AC and Satanic are kind of perfect, honestly.
Yeah.
I'd stay away from Radiance. It's pretty
No,
garbage
I
item
usually
right now.
go. I think I probably would have gone AC after this. I feel a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's silly going Daedalus and Silver Edge, but yeah.
I don't think it's that bad.
Is under attack.
Because it is just like really good, and you can land some like Mondo like waves or whatever.
I have you can sometimes just one shot people.
Yeah.
But which is fun.
This is all really good. You guys gonna push this tower now? We got 2 dead. That'd be nice.
I think that's what we do.
Yeah, definitely look to like if you're still deciding, that's fine. But I would put something in your quick buy, just because you got your gold starting to stack up again. So they like kind of defend. Your sniper team's back and gets picked off. Yeah, it's just like really unorganized. Pushing. Okay, so you didn't get the tower. Lost some teammates.
So I switched to bots here because I think that's what I was worried about.
Oh,
Profits
I see.
pushing us. So
I kind of get that. I wouldn't, given your slot situation, I wouldn't have sold your other boots though to do that. Because like if you still had phase boots, you'd still be getting the damage. You could still use the active, and like you'd still have like you can sell this quelling blade and still get another item before you like go sell the phase boots. Especially when you're keeping your bottle backpacked. So this is like really inefficient slot usage by you at this point. Because that's what I mean. Like Silver Edge, rushing Silver Edge is like not very slot efficient. And now this boots thing is definitely not slot efficient. Nice, good kill. Okay, kind of botsing, cleaning up waves. Are you like familiar with the concept of Xing yourself and then like boots traveling?
yes,
Okay.
I do that to go to base to like heal up. I don't always do that.
So I think it could have been decent there.
wave.
I don't hate that you're down here, but like if you wanted to like be able to be in the area, right, you could have, because you were like right here close to the pit. You could have done it.
Yeah.
Push out the one wave, then gone back. Just something to think about.
Yeah.
I don't hate that you're like,
that's
kind of
what-
down here though. They didn't need you, so
Is under attack.
mid. That went well. Your camera movement was not ideal there, which is like, it seems kind of minor, but I think it's kind of a big deal. How do you like edge pan? Like, do you like have to do this when you want to move the camera?
Yeah.
I really recommend trying to get into the habit of using camera grip, where you use the mouse wheel to like move the camera.
Yep.
It's really, really good. And if you know, it'll take you some time to get used to it, but you know, in situations like this, like you really need to be able to like, I mean, just in general in Dota, right? You need to be able to see what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, this is like good, but like I want you to see like this, you know. I want you to see this warlock and like what's going on, and like I want you to see Prophet with a DD, right? You don't even see. It doesn't even matter. You guys kind of just clean up, but like you don't even see any of this other stuff that's happening, and it makes it hard to judge what's the correct thing to do when you like can't see what's going on. So kind of minor, but is what it is. So yeah, just try switching to camera grip. See how it goes, you know?
Yeah, we gotta go.
Alright, so you're chasing these golems around. It's kind of not a good use of your time. I'd like to see you bots do another wave. You're bottom right now.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Also, keep your bottle in your inventory. You've got this empty slot anyways. You should really be bottling right now. Okay, so you do TP bottom. It's a little late, but for Herald, this is good enough. You know, honestly, I've seen like legend players like TP at that speed, so good enough. This is really nice.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Good. Yeah, whack this tower. Okay, this guy's gonna try and stop you. That's fine. Got your AC. It's pretty sick. Alright, so you're like kind of surveying the map. It's like, it's okay. Trying to decide what you want to do. It's got everybody gets Shadow Blade in this bracket. It is a Lina, so that's not that surprising.
Yeah, and so like basically one slot always ends up Dust, I think. At some point, I think I grabbed Dust.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you buy Dust, you're ahead of half the Herald players, so... Interesting. You go for the leveler. Yeah, I think you're giving, like, them a little more respect than you should again. Like, I would just be, like, kind of barreling down that lane. Like, if Prophet and Lina are both still down here, I mean, so be it. But, like, they really shouldn't be, and you just want to aggressively push these out. If you think, like, you shouldn't be afraid of either one of them alone. So
I think, yeah, once Morana came out. So.
Taking the fight is reasonable. Doesn't go particularly well. Fine.
Yeah, I think I TP'd to aggressively there.
That was, like, kind of okay. So this is a situation that, like, can key you into an item choice. Is like, oh, they actually can do, like, a lot of my damage or a lot of my health, like, pretty quickly. Like, this is a problem for you. So this is what would key you in to, like, pick up, like, a Satanic.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you have Satanic and you hit anything, you're, like, full HP again.
Yeah. I think that's what I go next. I might be wrong.
Okay. I'm just pointing this out as, like, a what you can look for in terms of, like, what's happening in terms of making the choice for yourself.
Yeah.
You could also consider something that just makes you tankier in general, like a heart, but, like, you're already really tanky. So if they're doing, like, you know, almost 3k damage to you, like a heart giving you an extra, like, 1,000 is not necessarily going to solve that problem, right? They're still going to do, like, 3k of damage to you, and you're still going to be really low, right? Where Satanic kind of solves the problem. If they're getting you low and you Satanic and you heal it all back up, that's, like, a big deal. Okay, so you got bots and you're walking out of base. I don't like this. I think you could have just TP'd. Nobody ever wants to do anything in these games.
Invisibility.
Yeah, I think you're playing, like, real safe. Yeah, I would definitely, like, look to, like, run up to these waves more and just, like, same with, like, Lina, right? Just clear it, like, go that extra wave and then just clear it and press Shadow Blade and, like, walk away. And like, if it takes you, like, 2 seconds to clear a wave, if that, and then you can just, like, walk away and you've gotten that extra wave, you know, pushed in, which is just, it'll just be worth it. No detection feels bad. Yeah, you definitely could have Dust instead of this Quelling Blade. Pretty late in the game to have a Quelling Blade. You have anything other than this Quelling Blade, actually, at this point. They take the Roshan, that's unfortunate. Yeah, so in this situation where, like, they're, like, strong, right? You need to, like, go split push the side lane, especially with bots.
Okay.
Just pick one of them, whichever one seems better to you, and just run it down the side lane, right? Because, like, what are they doing? They're, like, trying to push. So you just need to delay the game, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, waiting here for them to get, like, all 3 of your lanes in is, like, not ideal. Because you have bots, right? You can always just TP back in if they do go to push. I like how you bought 4 dusts. That's funny.
I think I just because it's something that I often will find I run out of it and like just get lots of it.
No, for sure.
Really check it out.
Satanic. This is good. I like that you're just kind of barreling down this lane. This is what you should look to be doing, you know?
Yeah, I think because that's what a bunch of them did. I'm like, well.
Yep, that's good, that's good. But I just like to see a little bit more of, you know, even when they're alive, you know? And then you just Shadow Blade out. Nice. Yeah, you're going Ags.
Yeah, so this is where I get
it's hard. Late game Dota, it's hard. I can't tell you what objectively the best item is to buy here. I really can't. Overwhelming Blink could be interesting, like just to give yourself a little bit more mobility and like kind of a nuke damage.
Yeah.
Also, you can like X yourself and then like blink in and hit somebody, and then X yourself back. And
Yeah,
it does, like, a
yeah.
ton of damage. So that's something to consider if you've never considered like an overwhelming blink before.
Yeah, I've never thought of that actually. That's maybe a
Yeah. Shivas is like okay if they have like a lot of healing. I don't know. Do they have any satanics? Not really. Prophet's kind of getting one. No, they don't really have any. They have a warlock, but it's not that big a deal. Consider like even like a Scotty or something. I just kind of go buy into the right clicker thing. But otherwise, yeah, like I said, there's no like perfect answer. I don't think. I think what you're doing for the most part is fine. Like Daedalus or something is good. Ags is okay. It's not bad. It really isn't. So I don't want to flame this too much. I know this is like a strong item on him right now. I think Ags is fine actually. There are a lot of options. Just to acknowledge that there are.
Yeah,
Prophet.
and it gets a bit weird after this, but
Yeah. What time is it? Okay, it's been just about 90 minutes. Do you have any other questions?
no, I think it was really, really helpful. I mean, I think that it sounds like things to work on. So if I'm playing a bots hero, then like, not walking out as much, TPing out a lot more, and pushing the waves a bit more aggressively, and then just like clear the wave and then just Shadow Blade out, and then probably switching up my item build a little bit, so not getting a BKB so quickly.
Yeah, I think both of those things, like if you can kind of, you're not going to be able to do it perfectly the next game you play, but if you kind of work on those things a little bit, I think you will see a lot of success because you'll show up to fights and you'll just like do more damage rather than just having this BKB. And then if you get the lanes pushed in a little bit more, that just like helps in a lot of ways. Not only more farm, but just more pressure on them.
Cool. Yeah, I mean,
otherwise, I thought your like early game efficiency was pretty good overall for like Herald. I think it's definitely good enough to like kind of get you to the next level. Have you been? You said your MMR when you played, it's like 10. This game you said?
It was 10. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was 10 for both of those games I showed you.
Okay, so you're like Herald 2, but it's like basically 0.
Yeah, you never get below Herald, so you wouldn't have ever experienced this. But I think you can only drop a badge once you drop like 2 full badges. So like
it
goes
so
up,
like,
and so you can't drop below that. So if you ever see a Herald 1, that means they calibrated in at Herald 1 and are still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortunately, people are good at this game. It's kind of sad to see that someone as good at the game as you is like stuck there because.
Well, I mean, so there's obviously something I'm doing wrong, right? Like, I've worked on my earlier game stuff, but there's stuff after that I'm not doing well enough, which is what I'm trying to think about and work on. So
yeah,
I'm trying to take it one thing at a time.
Yeah, you've noticed like your team does not like come and like fight in the right areas. So I think at this level of Dota, like you only can get so far like playing the right part of the map right, and then you have to like show up and like win the fight for your team basically with your efficiency. Which like I mean, look at your farm. You're the top net worth in the game, right? You have the farm. At this point, obviously, it's like kind of just a shit show, but. Like earlier on, right? Not getting the BKB, having that like first big item, it'll be before anybody else, and then just like kind of winning the fights off that.
Yeah.
And then
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, getting the lanes pushed in. If you can try and like encourage your team to like take those objectives. I thought you guys were doing a fairly good job though. Like I didn't see any opportunities where like there were definitely just free objectives like sitting around that you like didn't even try to take. So but
yeah, I try to do that. I mean, I played a bunch of support games, and I stopped because I tried to do the right things and I wasn't able to. It never really worked. So that's why I play. Like sometimes you play mid, like people just come to you like that, gank down bottom. Anyway, I've got to run in a second actually, but thank you. It's been really, really useful.
Awesome, man. And I'll put the recording up. I'll send you the link when it is up.
Yeah,
so
great.
I recommend rewatching it and watching it back. But
thanks.
All right, man. Good luck in your future games.
Cheers. Bye.